Hello guys and welcome to tueslearn.com. This is Virendra and in this course we are going to learn CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and before we work on CSS I would like to give you a bit of introduction and the software that we are using. This is Adobe Dreamweaver and a great software for creating websites, and there are pretty much very much awesome cool features in it. So before we go, let me first tell you that CSS doesn't work alone. It works on an XHTML file, which stands for Extensible Hypertext Markup Language. It's all basically an HTML file, but it works as an application of XML file. And why we are working on XHTML file, not an HTML file? Because an HTML file is not a strict language and it's a loosely structured language. I have an example here to prove my point. This is an example of a bad HTML file which is loosely structured and which has improper structure and improper tags over it. For example, there is no closing of head tag and there is no closing h1 tag, and if you see the red, which the background color red, and it's not in double quotes, and also it's not case sensitive. So if you run this program in Google Chrome, so look, you can notice that it works perfectly fine and you can't see any error here. Though HTML file don't give you any error, but it's not a correct format to do the work. And the W3C, that is the World Wide Web Consortium, W3C, will not will say that this is not a valid form, and it's very important that your web document should be um, properly structured, because if it is not, then you might not see any error, but it might not work in any browser. In any browser, I say, by this I mean that there are thousands and hundreds of web browsers are that are working on different platforms. For example, there are many web browsers for mobiles, for smartphones, laptops, tablets, and of different versions. So if this works on your browser, but then there are chances that this code might not work correctly, and in the, you can say, expected result could not be found in the all of the browsers. So it's very important that your code is validated in the validated form, and it should be validated in the W3 consortium. So if you go in here, you will find out that there is a validate option and there is validate current document by W3C. So it basically requires an internet, but I don't have an internet right now. So XHTML in the Dreamweaver, by default you will find an XHTML file in the Dreamweaver by default, and this is a valid format. And how you can say that an HTML file is valid? Well, first of all, this line should be there which says doc type HTML public and all of this code. And when you starting your HTML tag, then there should be this code, that is the XMLs equals to http w3.org 199 xhtml. So these two codes should be there. Also, whenever you are opening your tags, whatever tag you are using, for whatever it is the body tag or it is the HTML tag, it is the meta tag, whatever type of tag you are using, that tag should always be in small letters, and they should be properly closing and properly opening of the tags. So that's all about the validation of an HTML file, and sorry, XHTML file. And now let's talk about CSS. CSS is all about styling the web documents. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. and wait a moment. Hello. So yeah, I was talking about CSS Cascading Style Sheets. So your web document basically determines that what content your website will hold, and how that content in your website will be presented and rendered will be done by CSS. So it's very important that you know the basic concepts of CSS. Otherwise, you might be able to create a website, but it would not be that much pretty. I have an example of my website that I'm creating. So if I open and I open the website shortcut, pages, courses, not courses, actually pages, homepage, index. So you can see there is an HTML file named index.html, and there is also a cascading style sheet file. So these are two files that I've been using. You can see index is only 13 KB, whereas the CSS file is of 23 KB right now. So this is my HTML file. If I press F12, you can see this is my website, and in this website there is contents, there is text all over it, there are texts, there are images, and there are videos. All these contents are you can say are they are put it in the HTML or XHTML file, whereas how these things are rendered and how these things are managed. For example, the login table here, and the videos are here, and the image should be here, 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 and there is a slider, and all these stuff are styled in the CSS file. Without CSS, they will be all jumbled over here and there. So CSS is very important for managing your content in your website, and they basically provides an easy and effective way to work with. So I think that's it for the video, and I will meet you in the next video. And in the next video we will be possibly telling you about the CSS and how we do some CSS stuff. So thank you and have a nice day. Catch you